A brand new Little Nightmares 3 gameplay trailer was just released and it looks incredible. We get a new look at some of the game's locations within the Spiral and how Low and Alone will be working together. I'm super excited for this third installment in the franchise and I can't wait to play it. So let's jump into this trailer and take a look at all of the important details. The trailer opens with Low pulling Alone through a mirror. Mirror transportation seems to be one of Low's abilities. This is similar to Mono, how he could travel through televisions. But hold that thought. You can also see a crow standing on this statue. Crows appear to be a recurring theme throughout these trailers as we see them a lot. Low even wears a crow mask, so he is definitely connected to them in some way. What do you think these crows mean? As the pair jump through the mirror, it breaks behind them, meaning these mirror portals will only be one way, as they will likely take us through each location within the Spiral. The trailer then cuts to the two using umbrellas that are actually made out of crow feathers. Again, this theme of crows. As they glide through the air, we get a good look at Necropolis, one of the locations within the Spiral. The Spiral is where the game is going to take place. It is a cluster of dystopian lands built upon disturbed delusions, a place of nightmares. Therefore, we can expect incredible locations with even more bizarre characters or enemies. That being said, Necropolis is home to the baby monster, which we can actually see walking behind Low and Alone in this shot with tons of crows circling it. I will talk about this monster later in the video when we see it again. In the following shot, Alone throws a piece of what I think is coal into this furnace, but this is actually different from the furnace in the next shot. You'll also notice they are standing with a gnome. These are small humanoid creatures that have been in the previous two Little Nightmare games. They are extremely skittish, but some still try to make friends with strangers. So as we can see, it's probably trying to make friends with Low and Alone. It looks like we'll be seeing them throughout this third installment as well. Now on Alone's back is a wrench. This is going to be the tool she uses throughout the game that will help us progress through puzzles and even attack foes if needed. Both characters will have their own unique tools, which is something that we haven't seen before in the franchise. So this is going to open a lot more doors for creativity within the gameplay, which we will see later on in the trailer. We are brought back to Necropolis as Low and Alone are traversing through a puzzle. What I want to point out here are the pillars that they're standing on. This will absolutely trigger someone's trypophobia, the fear of holes, or more specifically, a cluster of small holes. It even makes me feel uncomfortable looking at it. All of these pillars are filled with holes. What makes it worse is that we can see something inside them. At first, I thought they were living beings, but they kind of look like pottery or something like that. Either way, it's super unsettling and does a great job at showing off just how unnerving these locations are going to be. As the devs have stated in the past, Little Nightmares 3 is going to be a lot more creepy and focus on exploiting people's fears, which is so cool to see in action. Continuing on, we watch as Low shoots down a beetle with his bow and arrow. Just like in the other games, there will be many different enemies that we will encounter, and these beetles are one of them. These are rhinoceros beetles, and it looks like they will be hiding in the holes in the walls. So they will likely periodically pop out, and we will have to take them down. And as we just saw, Low is able to take one down with his bow. Just like Alone and her wrench, Low has a bow he uses as both a tool and a weapon. You can also see a piece of red on it. I'm not sure what this is for, but he also wears a red and blue ankle bracelet, so there is likely a lore reason behind it. Regardless, we get to see the bow being used as a weapon, and Alone finishes off the beetle with her wrench. The last thing I want to mention in this area are the gray balls all over the place. I'm not sure what these are, but maybe they're beetle eggs? However, that's doubtful. What do you guys think these are? The trailer continues inside the factory location. Here we can see hands of what I think are the fairgoers, which are very large human that we saw in the previous trailer. They remind me a lot of the guests in the previous games. They could be the same people, who knows? Low and Alone progress through a puzzle, which this game is going to be filled with. We are then brought into the Funfair location. Keep in mind, this is another place inside the spiral, and so far it's probably my favorite. The two work together to turn on the power, and as they walk through, we can see a person's shadow inside of a tent. So it looks like there will be different kinds of humans within this location, assuming this person is human. Following this, we see a few more puzzles where Lo and Alone work together to solve them. There is even a Ferris wheel in the background. The Funfair location is going to be so cool to explore. From here, the tone of the trailer begins to pick up as Lo and Alone find themselves falling inside the factory location, landing on a pile of lollipops and candy canes. I think this is going to be a candy factory, which is not something I was expecting. Candy is a fun contrast to the dark tone of the game, so it's interesting to see this. But the trailer then cuts back to Necropolis, where Lo and Alone are trying to get past the baby monster. This monstrosity is a giant humanoid baby doll with Medusa-like powers. It sees only through its right eye and shines a bright light. However, if caught in this light, you will be turned into stone. This is what happened to the inhabitants of the Necropolis location. The monster baby patrols the city and turns anyone it sees into stone. However, maybe its actions are not out of anger, but rather because it's an innocent child that is just not aware of what it's doing. But that's a theory for a different video. I cannot wait to learn more about this monster baby. Alone gets stuck under the light, but Lo uses his bow to shoot the rope and cut down a box. This allows Alone to take cover and avoid being turned into stone. This was an example of how Lo is able to use his bow as a tool rather than just a weapon. Both escape the monster baby through a small door. From there, the trailer brings us back into what looks like the factory. Lo and Alone are running away from these hands and arms that are chasing them. I'm not sure who or what these are, but we saw something similar in the other trailer, where hands were following them through a pipe. So I think they are likely people living inside the factory that feed off the candy. Considering how large the location looks, I'm sure there are many different enemies that we'll be running into inside this location. The trailer cuts to black, and Lo wakes up next to a broken mirror. Alone comes to help him up. It's as if she was already awake and moving around. The trailer then ends. This makes me wonder if this is the beginning of the game or the end. I guess we will have to wait and see. What did you guys think of this new trailer? It looks great to me, and I'm glad they showed off a bunch of new locations. Considering everything we have seen so far, there's going to be a ton of lore within the spiral, and I can't wait to learn more about it. I want to quickly mention that this will be an online co-op game, so we will be able to play with a friend, or you can play alone with the AI companion. I bring this up because a lot of people have been wondering if it's co-op or not. So, are you excited for Little Nightmares 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like horror game content like this, please consider subscribing. Also, if you want to support the channel more, you can become a member. Don't forget to follow my Twitter at TerrifiedT. Thanks for watching.